Hi, I'm Kila.
And I'm Ashley.
And we met on TikTok when our stories collided.
After we discussed our crazy, people wanted to tell us they're crazy.
So join us as we unpack a whole lot of crazy.
And we named this podcast after the one thing we definitely have in common, raising our mamas.
So welcome to Raising Barbara Jean and Wanda.
Warning, following episode is intended for mature audiences only. It contains graphic descriptions, adult dialogue, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
We talk about dramatic shit.
Hey, my name is Brian Nell. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly be a pleasure to be a part of what they do. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
Yes.
Hey, y'all. So we're back, and we have Jessica.
Hello.
Because it's almost Valentine's Day, so we're doing the Anti-Valentine.
Can I move this or is it going to break?
It may break.
I'm so mad at you.
Just prop it up on your boobs. There you go.
Hello.
I'm so mad. Yeah,
You got to sit it upright.
I tried.
So you could have this one that sits up erect. It's very erect.
Okay, so for Valentine's Day, we want to talk to people who've been on dating sites.
Yes.
And to get your funny stories, not like the good mushy stories where you fall in love and get
Right.
married and all that. That's
Because that's boring.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We want the good stuff. Like, have you ever dated an idiot? I'm sure
Serial
you
killer.
all have.
Right.
No serial killers.
I would love to have that on here.
I think it
Somebody who
happens.
dated a serial killer? Yes. They survived it. I want to hear their story.
I was going to say they may be
Dexter.
dead, but we found somebody local in Murfreesboro, and she's going to tell us her crazy.
It kind of because Kila found the "Are we dating the same guy?" and
Oh,
so
yeah.
she mentioned that last week to Trent. And Trent was like, "Oh, I have the perfect
Yes.
guest for you because this girl has got a hell of a story to tell." So because she's going to have her own podcast.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we were kind of looking at the profiles of what they say, because they talk about how big their penis is, and
Oh, some of the dating
yeah, so their
Do they
profiles,
really?
and I'm like, who the
Some of
hell
them are
is
just
even
like
gonna,
just want to hook up, like they don't,
yes, like in it for a hookup, 7 inches and really thick,
Right, right.
and I'm like, who clicks on you?
Right.
Like, what makes you clickable?
Yeah.
I'd be like, swipe,
Right.
whatever. Is it right?
Because
Swipe right
I'm looking for, do you have a 401k and do you have health insurance?
Right. At this point, you
Yeah,
have
exactly.
to.
Because I'm 41, so
and
like,
car insurance.
right? Yes,
That's important
yes.
to us, because
Yeah. I don't even care what you look like. Just, are you responsible? Do you pay your bills on time? Because I don't, so I'm going to need you to.
Yes. All right. So I cannot wait to hear your story, because this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. You want me to just go on
Yes,
with it?
Yeah.
however you want to.
Okay.
How did you meet him?
Okay, so on Facebook, mine was not a dating app. I don't remember exactly when he friend requested me on Facebook, but we somehow became friends on Facebook. I'm a real estate agent, and he would randomly message me about property, saying he was interested in doing investing, all the things. And I actually was in a relationship at the time when he was messaging these things, so kept it strictly business.
Did we even tell your name?
Jessica,
Yeah.
I said
Okay,
Jessica.
okay.
did,
This is Jessica. Sorry.
But so he would jump in my messages every now and then, always an inbox. It would never be like comments on my actual stuff.
So that other people could see.
Exactly. Never
But
would
you
do that.
get this stuff,
All
because you're
the
real
time.
estate. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All the time.
So that's not a red flag, really.
No, not for me. It wasn't. And then every now and then, though, like if I would post like a picture of myself, he would never like the picture, but he would pop in my inbox with like googly eyes or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Never paid any attention to it. Just kind of let it go. I'm like, he's a guy. Guys are stupid.
Yeah.
They do dumb stuff. So then the relationship that I was in was actually kind of a rebound from a divorce. And so we were together, but I kind of had my feelings of we weren't going to be together forever. So sometime during that relationship, Daniel is his name. I posted a house for rent, and it was the guy I was seeing. We were renting his house out because he moved in with me. Daniel jumps in my inbox. I need that house. What do I got to do to get that house? And I'm like, look, if you're playing games with me, stop, because I really got to get this house rented out. He's like, no, I'm serious. I want the house. Can I meet you out there? Can I come look at it? So I met him out at the house. He and his son were there, came to look at the house. And he's like, I want it. What do I have to do? And he's really pushy. Mm-hmm. So like, to pushy to the point where it was like, okay, I have first month's rent, I have down payment, whatever you need, basically to the point where I don't want you to do a credit check is what it felt like. So I didn't. I was like, okay, if you're serious, we'll let you rent the house, fill out the paperwork. So he did. Within probably a month of him moving in this house, the craziest thing happened. He went off the face of the earth, and then he has this big long post on Facebook, like this long, like how he was in Illinois. He had this accident. He fell through some drain in the road, 15 feet below the road. He was paralyzed. He was going to be in the hospital for months. I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? And it was weird because when I messaged him about it, within seconds, I get this novel of a message, like it had been copied and pasted, about how the mayor came there. They're going to life flight him from Illinois to Texas because they don't want the publicity. It's going to be like this big ordeal. He's probably going to get like $20 million from it. It was insane. The story was insane.
He's still in the hospital.
Supposedly.
And he already knows how much he's going to get.
Yes.
Right.
Supposedly.
Gotcha.
Why would he have publicity?
Because it was the city, like against the
Right.
city.
Because he fell through this big drain and like 15 feet below the road. He was paralyzed and all this stuff, supposedly.
Yeah.
So about a couple weeks to a month passed.
Did he pay rent?
No.
Okay.
But you're thinking like,
I thought he was hurt.
yeah, you're like, I mean, obviously, who would make this up? You know what I mean? Who would say that? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Right. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah.
So he gets back and he's got a little cast on his leg and he's got himself in a wheelchair. So I'm like, man, he must have really done it to, like he must have really been hurt. So that happens. He's a truck driver at the time. And he somehow gets the big truck back to the house he was renting from us. And we all start kind of getting a little close because he's renting a house from us. He seems like he's crippled, needs help. And so we all start chit-chatting and joking around and stuff. And then all of a sudden, so the guy I was dating at the time was into Harleys. He was into Razor ATVs and camping and all the things. We did that together. Out of nowhere, Daniel pops up with a brand new Harley, a brand new Razor ATV, a brand new camper, and a brand new truck. And it's all at his house. Well, the house he was renting from us. And I joked around with him and I was like, are you trying to be this other guy? Because, this is the stuff we do. Like, how are you all of a sudden getting all this and you're not even working?
Right.
Oh, my lawyer told me to go ahead and buy whatever I wanted because I'm about to get millions of dollars anyway. So he told me to just rack up a bill. Okay.
Oh,
That's
wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
So, we'll move forward. He invited the guy I was seeing and myself on some razor riding trip to go camping with him, with a bunch of friends that we had that Daniel didn't really know, but he wanted to go on this trip. So we agreed to go. And at the time, the guy that I was seeing and I were we were having a lot of issues to the point where I was like, this is not going to work. We agreed to go camping in the camper with him on the Razor ATV. And while we were there, I don't know what Daniel did to the guy I was seeing, but he made him so uncomfortable that he left me there. He was like, I think something's going on with you two. Like, something's not right. And he left me there with Daniel. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And whatever it was, I think Daniel was poking at him intentionally to get him to get out of the picture.
Yeah.
And, well, he ended up calling me and telling me, like, I shouldn't have left you. Do you want me to turn around? But at that point, I was so humiliated. I was like, no, forget you.
Right.
Leave me here.
Yeah.
So then I stay with Daniel. We end up going back like 2 days later. We stay with the friends, go back 2 days later. I go home. He goes to the house he's renting from us. And I tell the guy that I'm seeing, like, this is not going to work. I need you to go. Mm-hmm. So he's like, well, the only way I can move out is if Daniel moves out of my house. So I call Daniel and I'm like, do you have somewhere else you can go? Because I need to get him out of my house. Well, Daniel's like, well, you know what? I have nowhere else to go, but I am a truck driver. So could I maybe just store my things at your house until I figure it out? I'll be on the road all the time anyways.
Right.
Dummy me. Okay, sure. Why not? You know,
easy solution.
Right. Well, one thing leads to another. He ends up moving in, and it's not just his thing.
We've all done it, so
right?
you're good.
It's so embarrassing.
We get it. I get it, though. Totally get it.
And then end up, his kid comes and stays with us a bunch, all the things, and we end up dating.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in this relationship at this point.
Are you not like, well, when are you going back on the road?
Well, he was on the road a lot, but
Okay, so he was still working.
Right. He was still working. He was on the road quite a bit, but it didn't last long because we got into business together really quickly. I bought a house to flip. It was a house that had been hit by a tornado from this sweet elder woman. Her name is Deborah. I paid $30,000 cash for it. I was like, we can flip this house together. And that was his excuse to come off the road at that point.
Gotcha.
I can manage it. I can do all the things. Let me, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, I'm working and doing everything I have to do, but I'm the one funding all this. I think you need to stay on the road. Well, he came off the road anyways. So that happened. We got into business together really quickly. I had that project going. I bought some more lots.
Okay, so let me ask. So
Okay.
y'all went into business. Was it you funding everything
Yes.
and him just?
It was my credit
gonna
and my
do the-
money, and he was the
did
one
he
managing.
give any money at all?
No,
And was he going to do the construction too, or just manage it?
just manage it.
And like
he had the
contract it.
connection.
Yeah, he was going to contract it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the connections. I had the funding.
Right.
Okay.
He told me he couldn't go on any of the loans because he had to show a loss, which how you got to show a loss when you just went out and somehow bought all
Right,
these things.
right.
But he also couldn't put any money into it because of this
Now-
big lawsuit.
Were you like thinking, was there really an accident? Like
Yes.
he's moving good?
You're still
or,
thinking that he was.
or are you still thinking that he had hurt himself or?
I thought that there was an accident, but I questioned the severity of it.
Okay.
I did question the severity of it. Because,
And when his kid would come over, like did his kid think that he also was in an accident?
yeah.
And-
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So
His-
everybody was.
His family, his kid, everybody thought like he was paralyzed in the hospital for months, like all of it. Yeah.
Wow.
His mom, kid.
He
kid's
convinced
mom.
everybody. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we went really heavy into business. Then he found some land in Las Casas that we needed to build our dream home on. I've got all these millions coming, we're going into depositions pretty soon. Like I know for a fact it's coming. Let's go look at this land. I'm not comfortable living in your house. Well, you can go get your own house, but sure, let's go look at the land.
Yeah, right.
So one thing about me,
Bless you.
if I invest in things, I'm going to do my research on it. I'm going to know, especially with real estate, no matter what happens, if it's my money invested, my credit, I know it's going to make me money.
Right.
So I was not naive to the fact that if this dude's a douche, I'm still going to be able to come out of this okay.
Right. Thank God that you're smart enough to know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of circumstances, and
Yeah.
I'll bring you guys there.
Yeah.
But we ended up going and looking at this property. I fell in love with the owners because they had a house right next door, and so I ended up buying this land in Las Casas. It was 5 acres to build this massive house on. During that process, I had to get approved for that loan too, and the bank loaned me $600,000. At first they weren't going to let me keep the house I was in, and Daniel kept trying to force me sell your house, and I was like,
Yeah.
something's telling me to keep
Right.
this is my safe haven. If something happens, I still have this place here. And so I ended up qualifying without having to sell my house. And then we went into building this house. He told me it wouldn't cost more than $600,000. We get into building this house, and this is 2019. The camper, the Harley, the Razor ATV, the truck I told you guys about, all of a sudden he tells me he's packing all this stuff up and he's selling it as a package deal. He doesn't need it anymore. We've got all this construction stuff going on. I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of it. It's unnecessary bills. And in my mind, who the hell's going to buy all that as a package deal?
Right.
But it wasn't my stuff, so I'm not
Right.
going to question it too much. It did disappear.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever. And so then we start building the big house. And this was, it started probably in July 2019. He has me manipulate the plans to put an elevator in this house, a $200,000 pool, a $100,000 shop. Now, mind you, my loan was only like right at $600,000, and this is like a 5,000 square foot house. I'm like, where are you going to come up with the money for all this? Because this loan is not going to cover this,
Right.
right? Oh, and he wants it wired with like all the things. Like, Like the shower turns on if you talk to it. The blinds go up if you tell them to. So I'm like, you better have the finances to cover this because I don't.
He's still banking on this lawsuit. Yeah, right.
Right. And so we're hot and heavy in this. And we get to fighting a lot because at this point, I have all these loans for all these different projects going on, this personal house going on. And I noticed that the construction loan starts running out. And we had hired an actual general contractor to help us with this project. And Daniel and he were getting into it a lot because he was trying to keep us on point with finances.
Right.
Daniel was like, not there. They argued all the time. And so they ended up getting into it so bad that the contractor quit on me. He just quit. He's like, Jessica, something's not right with this guy. I cannot, you need to be careful. And I was like, okay.
Because he's pushing for all this extra shit, like, oh, we're going to get this money or like.
Yeah. Oh, and I got all these millions coming. It's not a big deal.
Is he talking to lawyers or anything? Or
supposedly.
He's telling you he is. Yeah.
Supposedly. And every now and then I would hear him on the phone with his supposed lawyer, but I would only hear like bits. He would put it on speakerphone for like 2.5 seconds and say his name and then hurry up and take it off.
Right.
Just to like almost to let you know I'm talking to a lawyer. Yeah. So we end up getting into it a bunch. We're fighting about all the finances and stuff. I'm like, hey, I got all this money out, all this credit out. Like at this point, it was close to $2 million in debt in just my name. And then a lot, hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash coming out of my pocket.
Right.
And nothing from him. And so then.
How long before, like, how long were y'all together when the general contractor was like, I'm done? And I'm sure your wheels are turning like.
They were absolutely,
we're banking on this money. Maybe it's going to come, but like, I still don't feel.
So this was a year into our relationship.
Okay.
We actually had gotten engaged probably 6 months before all this too.
Gotcha. They do like to go really fast.
Did you buy the ring? Oh.
So the ring situation.
Okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, I understand how it can.
So he talked me into putting him as an authorized user on a bunch of my credit cards.
Oh.
And he actually used one of those credit cards to purchase the ring. He called my best friend, put on this big show. Even on Facebook, he posted this post about these rings, like $10,000, $30,000, like these big elaborate rings, acted like that's what he bought. Well, he bought a ring that had like a bunch of, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it was a bunch of little cluster diamonds.
Right.
Put on a show for everybody on Facebook, but that's not what it was.
Yes.
And so the day that happened and I saw that post, I was like, why does everything have to be for show with him?
Right.
Like everything has to be over the top. And the trip, because we were in Cabo when he proposed, it was a trip that my friends paid for and he was supposed to reimburse them back and he never did. So I ended up reimbursing them for that trip. I didn't find out till about 6 months later.
Wow.
Yep. But yeah, the ring went on my credit card. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead. Your general contractor fired, like he quit.
So this was moving forward to all of that. And we were fighting a lot. He's like, we need to take a trip. We need to just get away. Let's go somewhere. And I was like, dude, we're out so much money. How the hell can you think about going on a trip right now? Well, I had so many points on my credit card from building the houses because I put all the supplies on there. So we booked a trip to Cancun, and this was for New Year's Eve for 2020, I think it was. I noticed he was in his phone a ton while we were there, like a ton, to the point where I'm like, dude, get out of your phone. Mm-hmm. And it was like an excessive amount of being in his phone. And I was like, I don't even care. Like, we're fighting. It is what it is. We get back from the trip, and a couple months later, I find out, well, no, we're in the car and he's in the truck and he's got his phone. And it's one day we're taking his kid home and he's like leaned over in the window like this. And you can tell he's like super like something's going on.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he looks at me. He's like, well, you have some friends where the husband tried to cheat on his wife and they're still together. I mean, if they could make it through that, anybody can make it through anything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So he's one of those that hides things in plain sight. You get to the point with people like that, like they're so calculated that they tell on themselves before.
Yeah, you even suspect it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I knew that's what he was doing. So we get back home and all of a sudden my phone starts going off and he was in the bathroom taking his shit and he was in there forever. And my phone starts going off and it's this girl named Megan. And she was like, hey, do you know about the business deal that Daniel's trying to do with me and has been for months? And I was like, huh? I don't know anything about you. And she was like, oh yeah, Daniel has been telling me he's single, that you guys dated and split up. He's building this massive 10,000 square foot home by himself. He took me down to these properties that you're building, telling me they were all his, and tried to get me to invest in a $80,000 skid steer with him. She said, I went to the company, applied for it and everything, got approved. She said, but I felt like something was off because he told me I could not get approved without him. So his name had to go in the title of it.
Right. Not the loan, just the title.
Just the title. And she's like, so I started digging around and I found a post of some girl that posted a wedding venue site, and Daniel and you had both commented on it. So that's when I knew he was lying. So then I looked at your page and it's a bunch of pictures of you two together. Yeah. When I look at his page, he must have blocked me from seeing anything like that. And he never put me on. Any pictures he would put of us, he would never put my name and he would never tag me because he didn't want people being able to find me.
To get a hold of you.
So that happened. So then she sent me all the messages. He told her he had a private plane. He was going to fly her to Mexico on the trip we were on. He told her he owned a beach house in South Maui. He was a cop. He'd never been a cop. He tells that to everybody.
Because that makes people believe him.
Yeah.
Because that makes you believable if you're a cop.
Yeah. I mean, it was horrible. I had a panic attack that day because I was like, okay, I have all this debt. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars out of my personal money that I have worked my butt off for. And I have this clusterfuck of a human that I don't, excuse my language, that I don't even know what I'm dealing with here. So I went off on him and it got really physical. He grabbed my phone out of my hand, pulled my hair, held me down. He took my phone from me. I don't know what his purpose was of taking my phone from me, but he took my phone from me that day. And he texted his son at like 2:00 in the morning, asking his son if he knew the password to my phone at 2:00 in the morning on a school night.
How old's his son?
He was probably 12 at the time. And his son why would he have access to my phone? But he was like spiraling.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like,
Because I have to gain control.
Yes.
So I've lost control at this point. Now I've got her phone is the most, anything that anyone can get a hold of her. And I need to get a hold of that.
And so his thing was always, all these women are jealous. They're bitter. They want him. They're lying on him. Well, no, I have every message. I saw every single message. Like, you can't lie your way out of this. So I had to get my composure together. Also, before that happened, let me back up a little bit. While the big house and all these things were going on, the sweet elder woman I told you guys about that I bought a house that had been hit by a tornado, the one we were flipping.
Yes.
Daniel talked her into giving us $100,000 deposit to build her a house. And then COVID came and everything came, and there was no way we would be able to build her a house for $100,000. Even then, it would have been damn near impossible.
Right.
But Daniel was holding on to that money. So I instantly was like, where's that money?
Yeah.
Where is this woman's $100,000? We've had this money for 1.5 years and haven't built her a house. Where's her money? He kept lying to me. Oh, I've got it. You're stupid. I'll go to the bank and get it right now. Weeks passed. And I was like, you know what? Where is this money? Because I'm tied to this money contractually, I called his mom because he and his mom weren't speaking at the time. And I was like, you need to tell me exactly what I'm dealing with right now. Because I could lose everything that I have worked my ass off for, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And she was like, I thought he had changed when he met you, but I have a bunch of his mail because he has a lot of his mail sent to my house and not yours. Meet me. I'm going to pack everything up and just look at it. Inside of that was this big stack of a lawsuit paper. You remember the camper, the Harley, all the things?
Got repoed?
No, it didn't get repoed.
Oh, did he sell it?
Nope, he didn't sell it. He scammed a girl on Bumble out of all of that right before he and I got together. Met her on Bumble, told her that it was going to be a business deal. It was going to be this big rental thing. They were going to rent all these things out and make all kinds of money on it. And so she went and signed for every bit of that. And he was pretending like it was all his.
Oh, my gosh. So she thought he was going to be renting out the camper, renting out the... Oh, my gosh.
And he even, sent her fake messages and invoices showing that it was rented out, and it never was. The whole time he was...
What a motherfucker.
Right?
Yes.
Right. And so when I found that...
What's his name?
Daniel
So
What's his last name?
Martin.
Daniel Martin. You're a dick.
So he.
I hope you go to prison
The
and your
lawsuit
butt
was
hurts.
her suing him.
Yep. Her suing him because he packed it up and left it at a truck stop for her. But when she got it back, the stuff was damaged.
Yeah.
You know, and she was never going to get her money back out of it.
Right.
And so she ended up losing a whole lot of money.
Oh my
A whole lot of money on it. And I ended up finding her.
And he's still living with you.
At this time,
Okay.
he's still living with me. So I found out about that. Then
So you're like literally spiraling because you're like, there's a monster in there, and there's no telling what I don't know, but this is what I know. Like you're trying to be a detective, and
Yes.
oh my gosh, go ahead. Sorry,
Yes. No, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's like a movie.
Yeah,
it
literally.
is. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, I'm keeping track over here.
Because I listen to like Dirty John. Is it Dirty
It's
John?
just like that.
Yeah.
That's how bad he is.
This is like Music City, Dirty John.
Yes.
Oh my God, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So, all of that's going on.
Are you telling anyone?
At this point, no, not yet.
Because well, for one, I know this for personal experience. You don't want to admit that I've been bamboozled
Right.
to
Are
the
your
point
friends like Jessica? Like you need to figure out.
Now, my best friend did know, Nicole. She knew everything.
Yeah.
She knew everything.
Well, we have to have one person that we can confide in, or else we
Yes.
lose our shit.
And
but
my oldest son knew because it got to the point where I started getting scared, like for my life almost.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knew what I knew. Mm-hmm. And so it was almost like, what is he going to do to keep her quiet?
and
You
how's
never
he going
know.
to get out of this at this point? You know what I mean? Like it has to be like death, or you know what I mean?
And my kids were terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified because you just
How
don't
many?
know.
So you have kids. Mm-hmm. How many kids do you have?
2.
And they live with you?
My oldest does not anymore, but he did while we were together. And my youngest is 12, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And my oldest,
So he probably thought your son knew the password to your phone, and if they were friends,
then he would be able to get it from
yes.
potentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Was he good to your kids?
I mean, he always had a facade on with them, especially my little one. My oldest could see through his bullshit,
Yeah.
so he really stood clear of him after probably the first year. But my little one, he had him wrapped around his finger. Anything Talon, my little one's name is Talon. Anything Talon liked, he was all in.
Oh, yeah.
For it. Like he actually was better to my kid than he was to his own kid,
Yep.
but it was
Oh yeah.
an ulterior.
Oh
motive
yeah.
behind
Always.
it.
Everything is. I mean, I'm pretty sure they get up and choose what clothes they're going to wear.
Yeah.
Based on who they're going to screw over that day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. Wow.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So all of that happened. I found out about that lawsuit, and that's when I knew then that her name's Deborah, the elder woman with $100,000. I knew her money was gone. I knew it was gone. When I finally addressed him about it, it was so heated that I don't know if a neighbor or somebody heard us arguing. Somebody called the police, and his son was there with us, and he took his son outside because his son was crying. He was upset we were fighting.
Yeah.
And the police pull up, and Daniel takes off out my back door and leaves his kid there, just takes off running. So I guess at this point he had warrants, and I didn't know
You
it.
had no idea.
Had no idea. For
Yeah,
other
why would you
things.
run?
For other
Yeah.
things, yeah. So he took off
He
running.
just
Yeah.
leaves
You're
his
like-
kid.
You're thinking like,
Left his kid with me.
Oh, my gosh.
And like I had to call the kid's mom and everything. She had to send her other kids all the way from McMinnville to pick him up. It was a big ordeal.
Yeah.
And of course it was my fault. You set
oh
me
yeah.
up.
Oh
and
yeah.
How did I know you were running from the law?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but go back. I want to know what else was in the mail.
A lot
So
of
this-
it was like unpaid bills.
Okay, so
and
nothing beside that was the big thing.
that was the big thing was that lawsuit
Okay.
documentation. He had been running from being served on that. So
Mm.
in his mind, as long as I don't sign the paperwork,
Right.
nothing will ever happen to me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was running. So that's why. I also heard he had warrants in his hometown for scamming people as well before me. Everybody in his hometown knows all about him. That's why he doesn't live there now.
Where's he from?
McMinnville.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So all that happened. And I guess he went and stayed in his truck for a couple of days. And like I said, at this point, I had so much financially wrapped up in stuff. And he was threatening to run off and I'll just leave you high and dry and you'll be screwed and you'll lose all your money, all this stuff. So I was like, okay, at this point, I've got to be smart because like I said, I have had to work my entire ass off to get to where I had, what I
Yes.
had, where I had it. And I was like, I'm not losing this over
Right.
this stupid
And single
idiot.
moms are different too.
Yes.
Yeah. They're hustlers.
Yeah.
And we're mama bear. Like when I know that it's affecting finances that eventually will go to my children when I pass one day, it's a whole nother thing. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. And women are so much smarter than men. We're
We
always
are.
one step ahead.
we are. Well, even with the big house, I had money tucked away that he never knew I had.
Right. Thank God.
Yeah,
that you're smart
never
enough to
knew
do
that I had.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I ended up getting through that house. Well, one mistake that I made was that he was on the deed to that big house. So to get out of that, I played nice. We got back together. He come back in the
You got
house.
to play his game. Yeah.
And I just started really just watching everything, paying attention to everything. I was just on the defense all the time, you know, like didn't put anything past him at this point. But I also had to take out what's called a hard money loan to get that house finished because it ended up costing $1.3 million to get it done, not the $600,000 that I had my loan for. When I did that,
In addition to?
just no, all
Okay,
together.
all together. Okay.
When I did that, he wasn't allowed to be on the deed because I put it in an LLC in my name. So boom, got him off the deed of that.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then we still had some of the properties that we had going on in this other subdivision that I had to worry about. But I played it cool, got through all that. And then,
You're able to sell the house and like,
yeah, 2 of them were rental properties. So I had to deal with getting the renters out and getting them listed and sold. But, you know, as the years passed, I got through all of
Yeah.
that. I mean, I ended up having to play his game because I found out about all this stuff like year 2. We were on and off for 5 years.
oh gosh.
So that's how long I had to play a game with him.
And
Yeah.
were you in love with him, or did you just? Was it just
At one point.
At first,
a game that you knew you had to
At first, I was.
keep your friends close and your enemies closer?
It turned into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I felt like I was in love with him, but
Or it's I'm in love with the idea that he
Of
has
him.
gave me that like,
yes,
oh, this
that
is going to be an
he is
awesome
into
life.
all the things that I'm in.
Right.
We're into real estate together. We're into investing together. Like we've built this.
I always say that me and my ex-husband, it was like us against the world.
Yes, and
they,
that's
they
what
do
it-
that Bonnie and Clyde, like ride or die, and you
Yeah.
feel like, okay, this is my person. But then you realize that like, and maybe some people actually are each other's persons, but like that's typically not normal. You know what I mean? Like that's not a normal way to believe.
The thing with Daniel was everything about him was a lie.
And we always like that somebody keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
chase
And I
the-
got addicted to the chaos,
The drama,
So they don't like. I never knew what a trauma bond was until I went to therapy. So I had to go to therapy because of this joker.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, my therapist is who kept me from killing his ass and keeping it together to be able to get him out when the time was right. Because I did.
See, that's why we weren't friends, because I'd have helped you.
Right, yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
have been like, girl, we're
Yes.
going to do this.
Yes.
Well, and it got so bad to the point where my best friend was like, Jessica, I love you, but I cannot watch this any longer. She was like, I have to love you from a distance because he's still around, and the things that he has done to you that I know about, on top of it, after I found out about all of that, this motherfucker put a tracking device on my car. So he was tracking and stalking me, and I had no idea for a little while. And then one day we got into it, and I went to go see my best friend Nicole with her husband and some clients I helped her close a deal on. And he tracked me there all the way in Hendersonville, sat out in the parking lot taking pictures of us, and started sending them to my friend Nicole.
So that's how you had to figure it out. Oh my God.
And he told her that one of his cop friends, because remember he used to be a cop, one
Right.
of his cop friends saw us and sent the pictures to him, and that she caught them trying to hook me up with some man, like this crazy outlandish story. And I still have all of them. I keep receipts.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes.
I keep receipts, but I have all of that. And so that's when Nicole was like, it's dangerous, Jessica. He's stalking you.
Yeah.
He's threatening me, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
And so she pushed away from me, and I was like, I still got to do what I got to do. So I understand. But the years passed. So I slowly got rid of all the properties. We were still taking trips here and there. And then finally, after that big house sold, I made him, the money. Let me get back to the $100,000 for the elder woman. Come to find out, he paid cash for a truck with part of it. And it was like $50,000. The other 40, 50. No, it was 60 and 40. 60 grand cash on a truck, 40,000. I still to this day don't know what happened to it. But when I sold that big house, I made him sell that truck, and I put 40,000 back with it. And I took that money straight to her, and I never told her what happened. I just said, we cannot build you a house. Please take your money back. And she took it back. Right after all of that is when we were really rocky, and I kept telling him, I need you to get out of my house. You've got to go.
Yeah.
You've got to get out of my house. He would not leave. He was squatting on my couch upstairs. And then one day I was leaving the house to go get something to eat, and he's like, well, I'm hungry. Can I go with you? And I'm like, sure, but I'm driving. I drove that asshole an hour and a half away from the house, and I said, get the fuck out of my car. Just left him on the side of the road. Get out of my car, and when you get back, it's shit, and get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
And so when he got back, the police were there waiting on him because we had gotten into it in the car, and my friend was on the phone, and I had it almost looked like I had a black eye because he had like scratched the shit out of my eye.
Yeah.
And the police made him leave with the same trash bags that he moved in with, because all he had was trash bags of clothes when he moved in. And so he was living in a hotel for a while, and I guess he had already been doing shady stuff, and he had a house under contract because he knew once he came off of my credit card as an authorized user, he wasn't going to have good credit because I built his credit for him.
Right.
So he put a house under contract, ended up buying the house. I put him out, and then all of a sudden he started buying all this stuff again, where I noticed he had a bunch of stuff again. He bought a Harley, another truck, furnished this whole house. Every room had like an 80-inch TV in it. Literally.
And you're thinking, what girl have you scammed?
Right. And he's like, oh, I got my settlement money, all this stuff. Another thing about his lawsuit. So the day he had depositions, this was all in COVID, he told me that he had to go hide in a closet in my house because it had to be completely quiet and nobody could talk. He was in court, so it had to be really quiet. So he literally hid in my son's closet during depositions. And I was so leery of what was going on at the time. I literally stuck my son's phone in there trying to record it, but you couldn't hear anything because he had a headset on.
Okay.
Because I was like, this is weird.
Yeah,
Come on,
something's
dude.
not right.
You're hiding
Yeah.
in my son's closet
Yeah.
for a deposition. Stop it.
Right.
Well, he told me he got all... It was like $10 million.
Oh, okay. But it was after y'all were...
Right.
Yeah, because he didn't have to show it now because you're not together anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So... For whatever reason, we start hanging back out here.
Well, yeah,
and there
because
again.
now you're like, well, okay, maybe he did get, so maybe he wasn't, complete
Lying about
full of
everything.
shit. He did get his money, so maybe that was. I mean, that's what they do. They proved to you that they weren't lying about all of it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm a good guy now. I've changed.
Yeah, yeah. And now
did
I can benefit you because I have all this money.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So we start hanging out here and there. The kids were always close, so the kids hung out. We took them on a couple of trips places, and then he starts financing this equipment, heavy equipment. It was like $500,000 worth of equipment, dumpster trailers, like all these things. He starts this big, huge, elaborate business, and I'm like, man, don't you need clientele to sustain something like that? Like, rent the equipment until you build it, but you can't tell him. I was like, well, we're not actually together. We're just, whatever it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, then out of nowhere, I get a call from the Megan girl, the one that he tried to scam out of the skid steer.
Yes.
The one that actually warned me about him initially. And she, to this day, I call her my angel.
Yeah.
Because she saved me from marrying him. Mm-hmm. But she was like, are you still dating that clown Daniel? And I was like, I wouldn't say dating, but we kind of hang out. Why? She was like, girl, he's been posted all over this page called Are We Dating the Same Guy? I was like, what? I don't even know what that is. And I didn't at the time. And so she added me and I looked, and it was all these women commenting about, so he was back on the dating sites. He was sending them pictures of his house saying he built it and it was millions of dollars, just lying again. And I was like, this joker right here.
Then it all comes together and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not just an isolated event.
No, he literally is still doing this shit. And so I asked him about it. He tried to tell me somebody's stealing my identity. I said, one thing I know about you is they copied and pasted screenshots of your text messages, and you talk like an illiterate asshole. You can't tell me that wasn't you texting that.
Right.
That's how you talk. You're very illiterate when you text.
Right.
And so he tried to deny. We get past that because, like I said, I'm not, at this point, it's like I'm not even really with him. Mm-hmm. We just hang out sometimes. And then we ended up going on a trip with some friends that we had met at Chop House. And this was actually July of last year. We went to Mexico. We were coming back through customs in Miami, and they pull him And they're like, we're going to do an extra security check on you. Now, I travel out of the country a lot, so it happens to me quite often.
Right.
So I didn't think anything of it.
Was he funding any of the trips? Like he was helping pay for some of the trips?
One of them.
Or he was
Probably
making
only
you
one.
like hold on, or
Right.
some reason why
I
he
think
couldn't-
one of them he used his points on a credit card or something for, but the rest of them were late points from my card. This trip specifically, I put part of it on my card as actually paid for it, and he was supposed to pay me back. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but when that happened in Miami, I was like, well, I'll just go with you. It's just probably an extra clearance thing or whatever. Well, we're down in this room for like an hour, and I'm about to miss my flight back. We're about to miss our connecting flight back. And I was like, hey, we got to figure this out. Like, I've got my kid to get home to. And so he goes up there, and I hear the guy say, well, you're not going anywhere. You have a warrant for your arrest. I was like, what? What did he just say? So Daniel comes and sits down, and he's like, don't freak out. I have a warrant for my arrest, but I need you to stay here because I don't know what's going on. I'm not staying here. There's nothing I can do for you here.
Right. Good for you for not
Yeah.
being dumb, like not saying like.
And he swore, Jessica, I have not done anything else. I have not
Yep.
done anything to anyone. Like, I promise. I have no idea what this could be. Acted like he had no idea. You can't get arrested without them telling you what it's for.
Right.
It's the law.
Right.
And so they ended up detaining him in Miami, and he was in Miami-Dade for like 2 weeks.
You went on
I
your
went
flight.
home. I called his kid's mom, and I called his kid, and I kind of told him what was going on. He lied to them and told him it was a mistaken identity thing.
Right, of course.
It was grand theft auto.
Oh, okay.
But it's mistaken identity.
Right.
Well, I contacted a lawyer, and I found out it was in Franklin County, which is where we build a bunch of the houses at, or we're building a bunch of the houses at. And I had the lawyer reach out to the DA, and the DA tells us it's for that same elder woman. And I'm like, I gave her money back. What do you mean? It was the same amount, but the dates were different. The dates were like right when I put him out of my house to now. And I'm like, there's no way. So I'm like frantically going to the banks, getting proof that I paid her back. Because
Right.
I'm thinking I'm going to get pulled into
Right.
this, you know? And I'm telling him I know what it is. And he's like, oh, I'm
is
suing everybody. This is ridiculous.
Confusion.
So I show up. So when they end up extraditing him all the way back here to Franklin County, and I showed up at his bond hearing, and his mom showed up there with a friend, and I hear them say in there, he's there, and it was so weird. He was in his jumpsuit and his shackles and handcuffs, and he's looking over at me and winking at me and smirking like it's all a game and
Right.
it's all a joke.
Right.
And I'm like,
Because he's trying to make you believe that this is
Yeah.
nothing. Like it's just a mistake. Like they.
oh, and while he's in jail, he keeps telling me, just make sure you tell the lawyer I don't want to discuss any specifics of the case while we're there. I don't want to discuss any of it. I just want my bond reduced. And I'm like, you don't get to dictate that. You
Yeah.
know? So we get in court, and they say he admits that he has her money, but it got levied from an account that he had, and that's why he doesn't have it anymore. And I'm like,
You're like, what? No, we gave that back.
right. And so after that happened, I pulled his lawyer to the side, and I'm like, explain to me what the fuck I just heard.
Right.
And he's like, he's not saying he doesn't have her money. And I said, do you know what this means? It means that he went back and took her money again.
Yeah.
I was so distraught. I went to go to the bathroom and forgot I had panties on and pissed through my panties. That's how bad it was. I
Yeah.
was like, this cannot be.
Right.
Like, there's no way he robbed this woman again. I found her and I called her, and she told me everything. 2 weeks after we gave her money back, he went back to her and said, I can build you a house. Just let me hold your money for you. I'll keep it safe for you until we find the land and everything. Kept telling her that he bought building supplies with it, all these things, and then just ghosted her.
Oh my God.
And it actually happened at the same time he was furnishing that house and buying all those things and all the equipment. So he literally blew through her money on all that shit.
Oh my God.
All of it.
Because I was gonna ask, like, wait, you got this money and you didn't pay this woman back because I knew that
So he
there
did.
was 100,000. Oh
He
my
did.
God.
So he now, while he was in jail, he told me, because at the time he still had all this lawsuit money. He was about
Right.
to, he was about to get this another big, huge settlement check from it because he had it dispersed yearly, is what he told me. I need you, Jessica, you're going to have to pay all my bills for me. All my bills are due, and I'm in here, and like, I can't have my credit getting messed up. And I'm like, okay, I know this is some weird shit going on. So I said, I need to find invoices. I need access to your house. Let me find invoices so I know what I'm paying.
Right.
So he gave me the code to his alarm, and he told me, just know when you go in my house, don't be scared, but there's cameras everywhere on the inside watching you, specifically on my laptop. But don't be worried about it. Just as long as you don't touch my laptop, everything's fine. Okay. I went straight to that laptop, got in his emails, and I found the lawsuit documentation. Never fell through a fucking drain.
Oh my God.
There was a drain, and it was like a French drain. Like literally, I couldn't fit my foot through it.
Right.
It looked like he had put his truck directly on it intentionally, and he fractured his ankle. Now, he did end up getting $100,000 and some from that. Not tens of millions of dollars. And it was one check, and I took screenshots of all of it, and I still have it all. And when he got that money, he went and put $30,000 down on a Corvette, and then spent a bunch of it on a big old shopping spree. And then he still had some of it, but the girl that sued him, I didn't know this either. The girl that sued him actually has
stuff.
Yeah, a $1.3 million judgment that she went against him. And so they did end up finding a bank account that had $100,000 and some in it. Yeah, and they levied it.
Yeah.
But he had no intentions of ever paying this woman back because he would not have gone and bought that Corvette, and he would have paid her back as soon as he got the money. Would have paid her back as soon as he got. So all of this is going on, and then he gets out of jail. Right when he gets out of jail, a couple days later, a bunch of stuff starts getting seized from his house, and he's calling me frantic. There's a bunch of unmarked cars in front of my house. I don't know what's going on, Jessica. Like, this is crazy. And then they leave a letter on the door 4 hours later, and it's for the Hillary chick with the $1.3 million. They seized a bunch of his crap.
Oh my God.
So at this point, he's frantic. Him and his kid come to my house after the police leave, and he's still lying to me about this lawsuit.
You let him come to your house?
I only did it for his kid.
Yeah.
I had talked to the kid's mom, and I promised her that I would keep him safe until she could figure out a way to get to him, because they live over an hour away.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why I did it. I did it for him.
Yeah.
The second I got the kid gone, I was like, you lied to me about this lawsuit. You literally lied to me about your whole existence, like falling in a drain, all these things. And I showed him all the proof that I had. And he's sitting there, you're so fucking stupid. We'll call my lawyer Monday. I'm going to show you what a fucking idiot you are. That's just part of the documentation. You didn't even see the whole thing. I'm like, Daniel, enough is enough. Get the fuck out of my house. Like, literally, you stole $100,000. The reason why he had her money again. He said she called him begging him to hold it for her because her sister was trying to poison her and kill her. Oh. He was trying to keep it safe for her.
But then the one got levied. It got levied because of the other lawsuit, so it wasn't his fault. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Even though that happened over a year later.
Right.
Over a year later.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm. But so...
And this was 6 months ago.
When was this? He went to jail in July. So July, August.
Okay.
Of last year.
Okay.
And so all that to say, like, there are real con artists out here.
Real. And it don't just happen like Beverly Hills or wherever that one woman was from.
Right,
or whatever.
no, it happens here.
Yeah.
And I'm by no means a dumb woman.
No, and most of them are not.
Right.
They're entrepreneurs, and
but they have a way of manipulating you.
They
and
get
selling you a
in.
dream, and they look like they have all these things on social media. They make you think that they're successful, and it's all a facade.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't belong to them. It's shit that they bought with other people's money.
Right.
He also he went to jail again. He went to jail on Halloween because he promised this other sweet family, I totally forgot about this, with 5 kids, he was going to build them a house and help them make money on it. He ran off with their money too.
Oh my God.
Ran off with their money too. And this was all recently also.
Right, because he at this point he's like going to be a contractor or his own construction company, right? Yeah.
Without any licenses, by the way. He's not licensed to do anything.
And no clientele, just going to do it. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So where is he currently?
He's out on bond. He actually.
What are his charges right now? Just like fraud.
He's got theft up to $250,000 for the elder woman, which is a Class B felony, can serve 6 to 12 years.
Okay, good.
The other one he's got right now for credit card fraud, because when that family found out what he had done to them, they started disputing a bunch of on their credit card that they had paid to him.
Oh, good.
And then he went back swiping their cards again.
Oh, good. So the credit cards, he'll be up against them, not just like a individual
Right.
person. Good.
Right. And the Are We Dating the Same Guy site has connected so many women to me that he's still out here trying to do this shit too while he's out on bond.
You're literally going to be the Are We Dating the Same Guy, Aaron Brockovich. Are you going to put all these people together?
I may. I actually
I mean,
may.
yeah, I'll help you.
I may. I have not myself personally put anything about him on there.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Because you don't have to. Everybody else is doing it.
Right.
Like, I will help you. You can be the Aaron Brockovich. I'll be your assistant. And we can pull all these people in and be like, what has he done? And then, and then we make this like big ass discovery. And then we storm the White House. And then we say like, or not the White House, but like, where's the governor at? Wherever that's at.
Like, I'm speechless, and
I
I
am
usually
too.
don't get speechless over.
We're in this.
Yes.
I'll help you.
So he actually,
Ladies, if somebody, a dumbass douchebag named Daniel,
Yeah.
that's what your podcast should be called.
I know, dumbass.
Dumbass
That's how he
douchebag
saved
Daniel.
how he saved in my phone is
Yeah.
lying dumbass Daniel.
And that can be your logo. Mm-hmm. That's it. We got it. Okay.
But
I'll do depositions.
I will tell you this. There was a chick in Sparta, Tennessee that after he got out of jail had done all this stuff. He's out on bond, still owes all these people money. He tried to con her into signing for a $130,000 truck for him.
Oh my god.
And I have the messages from that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, he's
we need
still
to post
out here
him on
doing it.
Columbia too because people need to know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Does he live here in Murfreesboro?
He is in Las Casas. Yep.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh.
And he's got a big following on his Facebook page. He's got people fooled on his page.
Oh yeah, there and he'll always have that.
Yeah.
Even if he goes to jail, he's liable to have like trolls that just like send him money, and because he's got them so fooled that like he's just been wrongfully accused.
Oh yeah.
Of all the things.
I had a sweet Hispanic guy show up on my doorstep last week. He owes him money. Daniel told him that he was my husband. We were married. And so he's told people that too, that we're married.
Yeah, because you have a name. And, yeah.
And he has to use my reputation
course.
to gain access to people.
Oh my gosh, sis. We got to take him down.
Yes.
We'll help you.
I hate men like that.
Oh, me too.
Has he got a small penis because he's trying to make up for something? So he has to have a little dick.
Trent, can we?
Because he is a little dick.
Can we borrow like a conference room or something here so we can have everybody come?
Little Dick Daniel.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's got to go down. He's got to.
And it's weird because the court system treats it because he's not a killer and he never had an actual
White
criminal
collar
record
crime.
before. Yeah. They keep postponing his court dates and putting him off, and
And you're like, he may not be killing people, but
Who's
he
his
is
judge?
ruining people.
it's Franklin County.
Oh.
It's a small little town.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, we'll help you if you decide to go further. We will.
Army at this point.
Yeah.
That's
We really
good.
do.
Because you need to that needs to be stopped.
It does.
Because he's preying on innocent women that are vulnerable.
And he's got a type. He goes after the women that he thinks either have low self-esteem or they've got all these filtered pictures, and so you can tell that clearly they have issues with themselves,
Right.
Or they have mixed
And he
kids.
swoops in and
Yep.
tells them all the things that they want to hear.
Like the girl he just tried to scam out of a truck. When she came to me, she was like, I thought I had just met the perfect man. I thought, how could I get so lucky?
Right.
Because he is funny. So this is
and he's good
He
looking.
has to be
Yeah.
charming.
Yeah.
He's very charming
Yeah.
and goofy. So
Yeah.
he uses his goofiness
Yeah.
to really like, oh, he's funny. He's goofy.
Right.
He's fun to be around.
Because mostly the funny guys usually aren't the bad guys. You know, they're
Right.
always the friend that, yeah. Yeah.
That's what he uses.
Oh, wow. Oh,
And his mama even thinks he's a shitbag.
Well, but the thing about his mom is she still bails him out and listens to his bullshit. Like, still
Well,
like,
She's a mama.
yeah, but like,
I know
is
what-
is she a con artist or
not that I know of. Not that I know
or
of.
is she like, I don't want
Does
to
she
say like
benefit
naive.
from any of
I
his
mean,
conning?
so
He buy her nice things. and-
we bought her a car. We bought her a car, and so I think he uses that to dangle over her head because she doesn't really have much.
Right. So he's like, Mom, you know, I'm with these great women and we're going to take care of you. So she thinks that like, oh, it just didn't work out for him with that one. And
But
he's
I told her because she showed up in court that day, and I told her
Yeah,
everything.
but she probably thinks you're a scorned ex.
Maybe.
Because he told
That's
her.
what he says about all of them.
He's gonna, and if she hasn't read the whatever he's probably like, it's theft because, I took a jacket from her house, and, she probably don't
Or
know
even the big lawsuit. Oh, she was jealous because I didn't want to be with her, and yada
Yeah.
yada.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you don't get $1.3 million judgments against you from just some scorned
Right.
woman that wanted to be with you and you didn't want her.
Right.
It's not how that works.
Right. God, can you imagine the people that, there's probably so many more that don't even know about the site,
Tons. There's a lot of women on there that posted anonymously that he's done something to, but I guess they're just so, like me. That's why I'm not on there. It's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I hold myself to such a high standard.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
That I'm like, how did someone like me let
Yep.
something like
Yep.
this happen to
Yep.
them,
But they're just so good.
and they are.
They're just so good. So don't beat yourself up ever, because I'm from the trailer park and I think I can spot a fraud a mile away. And I married a guy that done me the same way. He was not on that caliber, but like totally everything was not his fault. And while in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know, because I'm like you're guilty till proven innocent instead of
Right.
innocent until proven guilty in my eyes. And he got me, and then I dated another guy that was kind of like, he didn't take me for anything, but he would have had I had it. I didn't have anything, so that's how you know don't get scammed. Just don't have stuff, But like for real, and both times I'm like, what?
Don't have stuff.
I'm like literally. I feel like I'm I'm just like I got you. And twice I've been with guys that I'm like, oh my God, they were freaking frauds, and how embarrassing.
Apparently, it's a lot of them out there now.
Oh yeah. Oh, because the internet's so easy to I mean, that's what I was saying earlier, that he probably got out of jail and has a long list of people that he's texting, probably, copying and pasting.
While he was in jail, and I like he literally tried to stay on the phone with me nonstop.
Yeah,
to the
because
point where-
you don't have time to
Yes.
discover anything.
And when we got into it when he was in jail, because I was like, I'm not sitting on this phone with you.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing. I have family and life to tend to here. Like, this is your
Yep.
mess. Clean
Yep.
it up. He said, well, I hope you know I'm getting fan mail in here already. Like, you actually get fan mail in here.
Well, and that's scary because I was going to tell you that
And it does happen.
Yes.
But you weren't even in jail but a
How
couple
long-
of weeks. They didn't even know you were in
That's
there.
right,
Stop.
right. Let's hopefully he doesn't. But
Well,
there are like the hot prisoners that
What is it, Trent, that Cassie was on? Inmate.com or
Inmate.
data.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, they do have sites like
They
that
do.
where they can get
Well,
money.
that
from.
one guy that's really hot, and then
Oh, yeah.
he's like, I won't take a Netflix thing because I want all the money. I'm like, you got 72 years in prison,
Right.
But like he gets people send him stuff all the time. Oh, that just makes me.
Listen, in 2022, there were 70,000 individuals fell victim to scams, resulting in losses totaling $1.3 billion.
And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sad thing is,
And in
you never will get that money
2024,
back.
No.
almost 70,000 people were scammed, underscoring the persistent nature of the issue. And they usually start on social media, dating apps, where they exploit personal information.
Yep.
So FBI has urged technology companies to enhance protective measures
For sure.
users.
The Hillary girl that sued him for the 1.3 million that he met on Bumble.
Well, he's probably looking like trustfundbabies.com.
Right. Yeah.
Tennessee,
Just
trust
knows
fund
how to
baby.
Google people and find out how much they're worth. That's insane. But don't feel bad.
I've gotten to the point now where it's like I want to help.
Did you watch Dirty John?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was literally him to a T.
Yes,
it was him to a T.
you're that woman, like, because you're successful, you're beautiful, you almost like, people are like, how would you
Right.
fall to that, because you are so pretty and you're
Oh,
kind,
stop
and
that.
I'm not just blowing air up your, what is this?
Ass.
Your
Yeah,
booty hole.
sure, whatever. I'm just saying, people are like, how could that be? But it happens. They're that good. They really are that good.
They are.
It's like that's their
They're like
career.
they study you.
Mm-hmm.
They study your social media. They study wherever they've met you at, and they know exactly what you do, and they know what you're into. And then all of a sudden, they're a chameleon.
Yeah. Did he
And
have
they're into
friends?
No.
They never have friends.
Nope,
They never have friends.
had friends. His family hates him. Most of his family won't even talk to him, and they talk to me other than his mom.
Yep.
The rest of his family hates him,
Yep.
but they still talk to me
Yep.
and hang out with
Yep.
me.
They never have friends. Never. It's always because, I'm just always so wrongfully
Well,
accused.
his was
and-
everybody was jealous of him
Of
because he always
course.
had all these nice things.
Right.
Well, it says there's 3 common types of dating scams, and the last one is military, romance, and officer of the law scams. Pretended to be a soldier stationed abroad to gain sympathy, or an officer of the law to gain trust.
Yep.
And the elder woman, Deborah, that was one of the first things she said. She said, Jessica, after you gave me that money back, he never stopped reaching out to me. He told me you guys were still together. He told me he had been a cop and he quit being a cop because he fell through a manhole in the road, and that's how he got her to be comfortable with him.
How old was that little lady?
She's 71 this year.
Bless her heart.
And sweetest woman. She said, you know what, Jessica, even after he ghosted me, I still texted him and wished him and his family a Merry Christmas and everything.
Yeah. Because of the facade that he puts out.
She has lost like 50 or 60 pounds from the stress. Her hair's falling out. She told me, it was there were nights that she would go to sleep and just pray she didn't wake up because it was her whole life savings. And she's at an age where she'll never be able to work again. She's elder and she's not in the best shape. So
Yeah, we got to get this bitch.
Hey, Trent. Okay, so listen, right now we need you to edit this one right here and cut it so we can post it on social media.
We're posting it all.
No, because listen, Daniel Martin, we are coming
We're
from you.
coming for you.
We are
We've been
coming.
waiting.
We know your
I've
type.
been- yeah.
Because Deborah may not be
We
able,
got
be able to
you.
work for it, but your ass can.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
and
on
we
a chain
hope when you're
gang.
in prison, your butt hurts.
Like,
I hope it gets ripped open.
like hopefully Jessica can do, because she's got things up her sleeve to get, maybe for fundraisers or whatever to get.
Right.
Then that would be amazing. We'll be there with
And
you.
ladies, if you guys know Daniel Martin and he's reached out to you,
Do not
let
fall
us
for the
know.
bullshit,
Don't fall
yeah.
for his bullshit,
No.
and let us know.
Document.
Yes.
Document.
Yes.
Document.
yes.
And stay tuned, because when her stuff comes out,
This
we'll
was
tell you.
just-
This was great.
This
was the
This
best.
is the tip of the iceberg.
It is.
There's quite a bit.
Oh
still
my
left
gosh.
out.
Well, we're there with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make us We Hate Daniel shirts or whatever. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But
Ladies, and
yeah.
always know who you're dating.
Oh,
Do a
God,
background
yes.
check.
If it feels too good to be true, it is
It
too
is.
good to be true.
And we are going to take it further when we get my stuff out. We're bringing on a lot of the victims, the women that
Oh,
he's tried
good
to
for
scam.
you.
How many
all of it.
victims have there been?
Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3. I mean, I know of at least probably 7 now, and that's
Wow.
just the ones that have come
We
out.
can
to
start
me.
our own board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can have
could.
a
Yeah.
Don't Date Daniel board.
Oh my gosh.
The Daniel
well,
Dupe.
we'll just have to run him out of Tennessee for sure, but hopefully he'll be
If
in
he's not in
prison.
jail, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in jail.
Yeah.
I hope he does go to jail, and I really do
Well,
hope his butt hurts.
this was really interesting, and Jessica, I'm so sorry that this
yeah,
happened, but
we're
I'm
sorry you went through that.
But I'm thankful that the coalition has you.
Right.
'Cause you're.
Are you dating now?
We won't discuss that.
We got you.
okay.
We got you.
I am actually.
Gotcha.
I am. And it actually kind of happened
It's a full circle moment.
from here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was very hesitant for a long time, and I still have a lot of things that I have to work through personally.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah,
We're really proud
She's
of
got a
you.
good one.
yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
Well, we're proud of you, and
Well, damn.
Holy shit.
Biden would be a good guy after that.
Brian is a good guy. Brian.
I said
got your
Biden.
back.
he said, I was like, what?
Biden.
Well, bless him.
Oh, he doesn't know.
He was dancing at the
I
inauguration.
thought
He
you
probably thought it was
said
at a birthday
Brian.
party.
I thought you said yours would be good.
Well, he is pretty good.
I know. I thought that's what you
Yeah,
said.
Trent was like, don't put my boy down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brian's my
Brian
guy.
just he went up a few notches.
Oh, okay.
They never, they jumped
Yeah.
to like really good guys after
So
hearing this story.
we'll when all of her stuff comes out, we'll link y'all all with that because you'll want to know all the details. This was just you know,
Yes.
her just skimming over the top, but holy shit.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we'll do hashtag DDD. Don't
Right?
date Daniel.
Yes.
We'll have to collaborate.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will. Yes. Oh my
They got
gosh.
your back.
Yeah, we got some stories too.
Yeah, we do. Where we
what they
scam some people. I'm just kidding.
I mean, honestly, though, when like with somebody like that, when you're with somebody like I was entangled with him for 5 years, it's almost like you learn how to be them.
Well, yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever scam anybody, but with him, I had to handle him how he handled everybody
And you have to be a
else.
step ahead of him or else he's
Always.
going to take your ass for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Once
what-
you realize that, like the house and all that, and you had to be a step ahead of him, yeah, you have to become the psychopath that he is in order to navigate him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times too, that crazy becomes normal to you. So
Yes.
you don't realize
The chaos
It
and-
just
yeah.
it comes so gradually throughout
Yeah.
the relationship that it's your normal.
And-
so you're like, what do you mean that's crazy?
Well,
Yeah.
and
I mean-
what you don't realize too is like when you finally break free from it, you go through withdrawals.
Yeah.
My body went through literal withdrawals because I had no longer had the chaos. Like I had night sweats, I had chills. Like I literally reclused for probably 2 months in my house and didn't talk to anybody. Like I
mean, and also it's probably like your cortisol levels, like
Yes.
trying to like level down because you're not in fight or flight anymore. So
Yeah.
your body's like, what the hell? It's going through shock.
But it sucks because most women that have been through that, even when you start dating again, you're always on high alert. And the next person's always going to pay for the damage
Yeah.
that the previous person
Yep.
did. And I hate that because it still happens to me, but I'm working through it.
You're
But
defensive.
you'll get through it.
Yes.
Because I did the same thing with my husband now.
Yeah.
I projected all my shit onto him. And then he was just like, no, I'm not feeding into it. Then I'm like, no, I want to fight. Like, let's fight. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. I'm not fighting. I'm like, don't call me crazy, which I was. And then later I was like, okay, well, he didn't fight me. So, yes, it'll get easier. That will
Yeah.
get easier. I wasn't as scammed as you were, but I was in a 5-year super tumultuous.
5 years. It's
Yeah.
almost like it takes that
Yeah.
5 years to get the fuck away.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no. And every time he left, I was like, oh, he's probably, and my husband's like, he has like a pocket protector. He ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? He's like, what? Like, he hands me his phone. Like, I'm the one set up his password on his phone. Like, but I was like, oh, he's out now. He's doing something. And he's like, I went to the grocery store earlier and this older lady talked to me and I'm like, yeah, I know what you're doing. Yeah. And he's like,
You were bent over in
Yeah.
the beer aisle on
right.
purpose.
And he's like, yeah. But then I was like, okay, that's crazy as hell. You're gonna get back to it, sis.
Yeah.
You're gonna be normal again.
And there
Monday.
usually is a prince after
Yeah.
the frogs.
yeah.
Yeah. And if he's a good prince, he'll stick through all those.
Oh, yeah.
Just tell him wade through the mud. We'll get there eventually. But yeah.
Hey, I'm completely open and
Hold
honest
your horses.
about
I'm
it.
Yeah.
catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank
I'm
you so
10
much
years
for
in, still
coming.
catching up.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Yes.
this was so good.
Right?
I know this was so
Yeah,
interesting.
this was a good one.
Yeah, and
We've
Trent-
been a little stale lately.
Yeah. And Trail.
Tell us how you really feel, Trent.
Trent
mean-
said like it was like more than we could fathom. But I
Yeah.
was like, he's just being dramatic. No.
It's.
I
and
can't wait
there's
for
so
your
much
stuff to
more.
come out so I can really get down. Oh my gosh.
See, there is good things that come out of, are we dating the same guy?
Right?
Yes.
Literally. Yeah.
I'm going to post him on Columbia just so people know.
No, you can go for it.
Yeah, I'll do it anonymously because, you know
Has
what?
he been in touch with you? Like, don't put my name or don't say anything about me. Because listen,
He
I'm
ha-
blasting your ass everywhere.
He
I
has,
don't care.
He has reached out to some of the other women that he thinks has put him on there, like the Stacy chick that he tried to get a truck out of. He reaches out to her. He actually tried to call her the other day and act like everything was great after he cussed her out, told her what a piece of shit she was and everything. He's like, hey, what are you doing? That's what he does, though. And then she didn't respond, so then he tried to call me the next day.
I'm telling you, he
goes
probably has
through
a list.
He
And he's
does.
like, I'm just going to hit him up and whoever answers, I'm going to cling on to it.
Yep.
Daniel,
Oh my
and you
gosh.
done met your match right here because we
You
ain't scared of
sure
you. And you bring it on,
And I
buddy.
ain't got shit. You ain't scared me out of nothing.
Well,
Well, I got
and we
my-
ain't scared of your ass either.
Uh-oh.
So you go on and ask my husband, he'll tell you we crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I got
Like
my
certifiable crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jess, what did he? Didn't he accuse you of making a fake profile? Or something?
Yes.
That's crazy. This is crazy. Sorry.
Some chick went on Facebook and took all of his mugshots and made a page.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's
and
amazing.
started friend requesting all of his friends and sending it to them and messaging them. And he had the audacity to call me and he was like, I'm sitting at the police department before I go in. Did you make that page? And I'm
Isn't
like,
it funny
what?
when they start that?
And I didn't even know at first. I'm like, what fucking page are you talking about? I just need to know because I'm going to the police
Right.
and whoever did it, they're going to jail.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Daniel, you just know I got a sister that lives out in the country. She got pigs.
Just like,
You know what they say about them pigs? They eat anything.
well, we got a whale too, but I know.
And I got sisters that been in prison.
Oh, well. I totally forgot
You ain't heard about them
that.
whales, Trent? Exactly. Don't nobody hear about them whales.
Not the
No
humpback
comeback.
kind.
Not the humpback, the water whales.
Oh,
Throw you down into a whale. God dang.
Now, Trent's vanilla.
He's so vanilla. Because everybody,
Whales.
like,
You
I mean,
thought the
Kila-
same thing, didn't you?
I didn't. I'm from Detroit.
Okay, makes sense. Because
Whales.
everybody listening was like, yeah, we got some whales down
we
here.
got whales.
I mean,
Water whales.
Water whales. Yeah,
Yes.
that's where whales are.
Man.
I'm dead.
Yes.
That's a great way to wrap
Whales
this
are
one
very
up.
deep.
Yes.
They swim in
But I
deep
did
water.
forget about the whole him accusing me
that
of
page.
that page.
What?
I'm like, you have so many enemies. There's no telling.
Right.
I'm
And what are the?
I'm right here at this station.
Yeah, oh, right. And what
I
are the
need
law
you to
gonna do?
confess right now because I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
His ass can't go to the station. He'll got a warrant out.
Right. He thinks he has that much control too that you're going to
here
just
to
be
turn
like,
myself
okay,
in.
I'm going to jail for
Hey, somebody
catfishing.
made a Facebook page about all my mugshots. I'm gonna tell on them.
Right. You're like,
Oh,
that's
wait.
public knowledge, first of all, dumbass. And second of all they're going to do is say, take it down.
Or you're arrested again.
Exactly.
By the way, we have another warrant.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you for
Okay,
coming
well, we're going to
in.
look him up on.
Glad you're here. We don't even have to
I
look for you.
also supposedly set him up. That's
Of
why he got
course.
arrested.
Right.
So I set
That
him
was
up.
you.
I mean, you should
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I set him up.
You probably will after this because we'll talk her into it.
Wow.
Man,
Oh,
this is a good one.
it's always the blame the blame game.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Everything that he's ever been in trouble for, it's all my fault.
Oh, yeah. And
Clearly.
they project so much that it's like,
Yes.
I'm the victim and look what you've done to me.
Oh, he told everybody I was verbally abusive. I treated him
Oh,
like
wow.
shit. I didn't appreciate anything he did for me.
Of
That
course.
was his story to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. I
Yeah.
was
Daniel, man up and grow
did
a
you
pair.
feel like you wanted to scream from the rooftops? Are you fucking kidding
Yes,
me?
all the time.
Like I'm on candid, like I have to be on candid camera. My ex-husband was like that. He would walk into a bank and come out with $120,000 loan, and then when he would just default on it, he would just walk away, and then they're like. And he would just be like, yeah, she's crazy. She hit me with it. I'm like, oh my God, I hit you because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I mean, I was the aggressor, but like, I'm
But
like,
they make you do that.
Yes.
Shouldn't have hit him with them
provoke
keys,
you
Ash.
to the point of no return.
Yes.
Because I won't say I didn't say some foul shit.
yeah,
No.
But
you
you
have to.
You
You have to fight
deserved
fire with
every
fire.
bit of it. Yes.
Yes. And when it would, like, people would stop talking to me, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This man is literally the devil. And he would just convince people that, like, she's crazy, watch her. And I'm like,
She's jealous.
Yep,
She's crazy. All the
yep.
things.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
all jealous.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
a
Well,
banger.
This was great.
We'll have to do a part 2 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Jessica, this is not the end of us because
Oh, no.
we're going to be a
No.
girl
Fam,
gang
fam.
against Daniel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, that was great. If anybody has any stories like that or whatever, or even
Yes,
your
Valentine's
dating,
Day's coming up, so we want to hear them.
yeah, we don't really want to hear the mushy stuff. We want to hear the.
This is the stuff we want to hear.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it can be nice, but
Yeah.
just remember, girls, don't date a Daniel.
Yeah. And I mean, as Kila says in the beginning of the thing, we talk about traumatic shit. So, like,
Part of it.
right. Yeah. This isn't Love Always, Kila and Ashley. This is Raising Barbara Jean and Wanda.
Love Actually.
That's some Barbara Jean and Wanda shit right there.
Yeah,
I ain't never heard of
exactly.
it.
So, we love y'all, and this was
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
And I'm hungry.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yep.
Love y'all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jess.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Jessica, can you
Thank you for staying around for all of our crazy,
be sure to like, follow, and share with everyone you know,
even them whores you don't like.
and leave us a 5-star review.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, bitches.